seen anything like that.
No good. Wide right.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going into the end zone. The Bears have won. The Bears have won. Oh, my God. You believe in miracles?
It's the Davey Sports Program where we talk the sports and other stuff like tapeworm or is it ringworm? I always forget which was which. Anyway, all I know is I got worms stuck in my ass and I can't get it out. And here's your host, Mr. Eastside David McDonald.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Roy Harder. Thank you for yet another embarrassing introduction, especially before a very widely acclaimed and important guest that we have on tonight that we are extremely excited for. And I just want to thank you for embarrassing me now in front of our guest. And now he's scared because now the host of the show is yelling at his little co-host. And I might have to put you down to sidekick after that introduction. That is clearly humiliating for me and for Robert, the Davey Mac Sports Program producer, because we worked hard on booking this next gentleman. He is incredible. He's having a very big impact on the sports media world. The success is amazing. We're going to get into it. He's from John Boy Media. And if you don't know John Boy Media, you should. Their shows include the #2 baseball show in the United States, Talking Baseball. Also, the #6 sports show in the United States, Talkin' Yanks. I mean, it's incredible. And this gentleman co-hosts them both. He is Jake Storiale.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is electric. One of the things we do at John Boy Media, we try to drive home the word fun, and this feels like home, man. So I'm excited.
This is fun, baby. We got puppets behind us. I mean, some of them are more inappropriate than Roy somehow, Jake. Now, should we call you? You're also Talking Jake on Twitter, in case folks don't know. And let's get into just really quickly before we talk a little Yankees, have a little fun, play some games, and we might even put you under interrogation. I mean, this is a very, this is a very important special episode. But Jake, John Boy Media is something that when I've been on Twitter since like 2009 or something, and just and been a massive Yankees fan for my entire life. And I started seeing, John Boy this and Talking Yanks that, and everything was going on. And I'm like, these guys, what is going on here? Next thing you know, my God, a few months ago, I turned on the Yes Network because, again, I'm a massive Yankees fan. And there you are. There's Jake. There's John Boy, a.k.a. Jimmy. And they're on television. They're TV stars. What the hell? How did this start? Give us the origin story of John Boy Media, because it's become quite the success.
Yeah, man. You're all over it. I mean, the first 2 years I was doing the same thing you were doing. I was just kind of like, what's happening, having fun with it. And that's where it started. Jimmy was living out on the West Coast. He was living in California. He had nobody to watch Yankee games with. He comes from a proud Yankees family, like a lot of Yankees fans do. And he hit me up one weekend in 2017. He's like, hey, people want me to do a podcast. I had no idea what that was. I was pretty tech illiterate and still am. So it started as one episode a week, and then it turned into 2 episodes a week, and then it turned into, okay, let's go to spring training, and it turned into we're selling a couple shirts, and it turned into, I think I want to do this, and then that turned into me getting fired from my previous job, which turned into me being like, okay, I think I really want to do this. And then, man, we just kept doing more and more until it became more real and real. And it's nuts, man. We're like a real company now. There's a lot of people that work with us, and yeah, dude, I mean, from 2017 two buddies that hopped in front of mics and talked some Yankees to actually being on Yes Network, it's mind-boggling. We don't take enough time to appreciate it. And it was funny. We actually agreed to the Yes Network deal during the lockout in baseball. So we knew about it and knew it was going to happen, but we didn't know when baseball would be back. So, I mean, we were like sitting on our hands with it, just wanting baseball to come back. So then eventually it happened and we were super excited, obviously, but we'd been through mental warfare with baseball being in a lockout and the show not happening, that, it was cool and we were excited. But the really cool moment was, and this is so dumb, but it's how we appreciated it. You just forget that, the Yes Network's so big in the Northeast that we started getting pictures from people like at bars.
Yeah.
And, they have the TVs all over the walls. And so people were sending us pictures of us like covering the back wall.
That's
these
awesome.
matches. And it's like, man, it's a weird world, but we'll take it. So it's been crazy, man.
That's fantastic. You're in a bar and you see yourself. Roy Harder, many bars have his picture on the entrance, but it's more of like, do not let this person in under any circumstances situation. And that's really actually not just for bars. That's for schools, barbershops, movie theaters. There's many establishments that Roy is not allowed to go to. I mean, Jake, let's be honest. Look at the beard. Roy, I thought you said you were going to get trimmed for John Boy. They're in very, they keep everything very fresh, very tight. I mean, Davey Mack went, I got a haircut today. I got the beard trim. And now look at you. You're looking like, the bootlegger from Tennessee in 1931 over there. What is going on?
David, I haven't had a chance to actually get a haircut. I've been busy. I'm a hero now. I don't know if you heard about this. I'm all over my neighborhood press because I rescued a cat that was stuck in some scaffolding on a construction site.
What?
And I made the news, buddy.
Wait, okay. Hold on. Jake, Talkin Jake from John Boy Media, Jake Story Alley. And apparently Roy is determined to steal your thunder tonight.
Oh, no, please. No.
No. It was great. No, it's great. It's great. I was interested in getting it to Jake and Jimmy and John Boy's goddamn origin story, but apparently I'm gonna have to deal with Roy and he's the cat superhero now.
No, that's it. That's the end of the story, buddy. I'm a hero. That's all I want to tell you.
What is this a true story, or are you lying to make yourself look better to Jake? And you have had that reputation where you lie to celebrities.
Oh no, this is 100% true story, David. Matter of fact, I hear another cat yelling right now. So
okay, Jake,
we're
gonna move on.
Fair enough.
Now, Robert had a amazing thing because he was talking about the Houston Astros scandal and the importance that John Boy Media played with the 2017 Houston Astros scandal. That is still a very difficult series for me. It's 5 years later, and we're without a ring. And we'll get into the Yankee stuff, but the judge's thing, the contract is giving me anxiety. The team falling apart right now. I think they said 20-25 in their last 45 games, 2-8 in their last 10. Just lost 2 out of 3 against the Red Sox. Robert, what were you saying about the John Boy with the Houston Astros scandal?
First question, is it true you guys keep the same haircut standards as the Yankees? I know you guys came as a Yankee fan organization. I've seen the cuts. Do you have to keep those same standards?
So you mentioned Roy's beard. I've been jealous from the top. I can't grow anything here. I grew out a really gross goatee a little while back, and that would be banned by the Yankees. So, and actually, I mean, Jimmy's got a little bit of an iconic. He's got a little salt and pepper beard that's his signature. So no, I mean, we've broken the rules on that. One day I was busting Jimmy pretty hard because it would be easy for me to keep up with the men's grooming standards because I have to shave about once a week-ish.
Man, that's fantastic, by the way. You should, you should be proud of that. You save on shaving cream and razors and all this garbage.
I very much appreciate it at this point. For Jimmy, I one time I kind of gave him a little like, Jimmy, you're a Yankees guy going with the full beard. I don't know. And he was like, well, if I was a professional athlete on the Yankees, I would be fine shaving my beard, but I am not. So I'm leaving it. And I was like, you know what? That's fair. So no, we looser grooming standards in the New York Yankees.
All right. That's good.
That is awesome. And as far as the Astros things go, those videos got me back into baseball. It made it exciting. It was kind of a scandal. Seeing somebody who was just a fan be at the center of a controversy was incredible.
So let's get into it. It was John Boy who really released the videos. You guys broke down the Houston Astros videos with, audio. And you were giving us the cues and visual cues and audio cues of when and what to listen for. And that snowballed into the scandal, which you guys turned out to be right. They were cheating. That's amazing. How did we go about doing that? Who was, how did that happen? That was a Woodward and Bernstein, all the president's men moment for you guys.
So it was crazy. There's obviously no idea at the time, but the part that gets overlooked, and we do our best to show it off, is that the Athletic wrote the article. It was Rosenthal and Drellich, they had this, they broke the story. I think the part that's really interesting was it should be, I have no idea what they're teaching anywhere these days, but it's the number one example for me of old media meets new media. They came out with a beautiful article, well written, but behind a paywall and without video. So what Jimmy did, and it was funny. It was a moving day for him. He was moving into a new apartment. So he just for 45 minutes, he's like, oh, the Astros are cheating. Let me see if I can figure it out. So in the article, it mentions a few examples of who's that pitcher from the White Sox? Oh, Farquhar, maybe?
Yeah.
Blanking. But it's Farquhar's on the mound and you hear the banging noise and then he steps off. And man, when you read that, you're like, okay, sure, the Astros are cheating. But when you saw it the first time with the audio, you don't have to be a sports fan to see that and be like, man, something's messed up here.
Yeah.
So that video was obviously huge. There was a little while where Jimmy and myself had a little bit of a chip on our shoulder to it. Just because we'd already done a lot. That video was huge. And, I think what made us appreciate it more in time was that we had put ourselves in a really good position that when Jimmy made that video, it allowed itself to take off. That we already had a base of a platform.
Yeah.
That when that hit the bonfire, the thing took off. Left sports, and Robert appreciate it, man. That's our favorite compliment we probably get, is that there's a lot of people that love baseball that just, it gets away from you. A lot of people can't take the 3.5 hours a night I like to watch the Yankees, but there's still, it's part of our country. Everyone played T-ball and I
agree. Jake,
people.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. Last Sunday, the Yankees game was 4.5 hours. The umpiring was the worst umpiring I've ever seen. Boone got kicked out at one point. And the thing that I'm railing about baseball is they have it all right in front of them to be a modern game. If they do a couple very quick changes, and I did play baseball in high school. I hit 389, Jake.
Whoops.
Yeah. 389, I led the team in RBIs.
Roy saved the cat, Dave. Sorry, he's got you beat.
Roy saved the cat. I guess that's better than 389. Well, I guess you know why? Because mine was on JV because I didn't try out for the varsity team because I was getting into things called marijuana and mushrooms. And well, you've seen Dazed and Confused. Remember the character Pink Floyd? That was me, only with red hair. But anyway, the point being, 4.5 hours is insane. It's just fresh on my mind because you were just talking about it. Why can't we have the balls and strikes determined by the strikes, by the K zone that every fan is watching on television? You could put a fifth umpire in the booth, have him with a little microphone. The other umpire's got an earpiece. The guy's watching on TV what we're all watching, ball, and then the umpire goes ball or strike, and the home plate umpire then actively goes strike so that the pitcher, the catcher, and everyone in the stadium knows what's going on. Why can't we do that? Why can't we do that, Jake?
I think we're on our way. I think people are scared of the technology because, if you've ever seen those ump scorecards that come out on Twitter sometimes, and the one that game was crazy, the umpires, they have an automatic strike zone they get graded on. That's different than the automated strike zone we see on TV. So like a lot of things in baseball, we need to pick one. And then people are just going to be scared because pitchers are going to be able to kind of navigate or game the system, just like any sport. Like, there's pitches that clip the strike zone that don't get called that look like balls, that those will become strikes. And it'll change the game a little bit. But I hope.
Well, did you hear that David Cohn suggests shrinking the strike zone slightly and bringing it 2 inches down lower just for that, just for those pitches that will clip? He says you bring that strike zone in just a couple inches, especially on top, and that will eliminate the clipping. I don't know.
Yeah, they feel like the high strike has really added to strikeouts, which right. I think, think about it. When going back to the early 90s, the strike zone, I think it's supposed to be up to your nips, basically. I don't think the rule book says that verbatim, but and then if you remember like 90s baseball, the strike zone was wide. It was into the other's batter's box. So it's always been moving. That I think baseball will get there. I think the first thing they should do is add a challenge. Like we can see right and left, we can tell if a ball is off the plate. We have the camera angles. Why aren't we giving a challenge in big at bats?
That's goddamn great point.
When someone misses that, like that way the game can continue. We don't have to challenge every strike or, depending how the system works, we're rechanging every pitch. For the big ones, like let's be able to do that because there's egregious ones. Like if something's able to be changed, we have the technology. What are we doing? So I think we're getting there one day soon. I think baseball tends to move slow, figuratively and literally sometimes. Let's get a couple challenges. So if there's egregious ones, we can say you got that wrong. That's the first step.
Just
Jake,
wanted to let you know you actually nailed it. The language in the rule book is to the nips, and it's why Babe Ruth did so well because he was a larger set fellow, and with his man boobs, it was a little bit lower strike zone by 2 inches.
Robert, don't give Jake fake facts. He's the host of Talkin Yanks. You understand what John Boy Media is? Okay, they understand Yankee baseball. You're now it's both you and Roy are embarrassing me in front of the legend, Jake Storiale.
Dream team.
Roy, do you have anything to add since it's gone off the rails quickly? Yeah.
No, not off the rails, but I will say this. The reason why they should not impart some sort of computer technology to create the strike zone, it's very simple. Any type of technology these days is going to get hacked. How would you like it if suddenly the Russians start hacking these games?
Okay.
And the next thing you know, come on.
Okay. Jake, don't even address that. Russians aren't going to hack the strike zone. We're talking about just a CGI rectangle. Have you ever watched a baseball game in the last 25 years? You know what? I'm going to move on. We need to get to know the legend, Talkin Jake Storiale of John Boy Media. We're super thrilled to have him here. But Jake, what we like to do is to get to know people the first time, sometimes even the second time. We like to put them under this in this game that we call interrogation.
Okay.
And basically, it's an intense game. And you're just going to have to, basically you think of it as Law and Order. And I hate to say this, you're in the criminal seat.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll just start pretty basic and we're just going to ramp up and go with this. All right, Robert, is there anything I should wait for or should we get right into interrogation?
Let's go to interrogation.
Okay. So we are interrogating John Boy Media's Talkin Jake Storiale. And please state your name and location.
My name is Jake Storielli, New York City.
Okay. I guess I didn't need the name part since I introduced you. Usually in interrogation, people, the criminals don't get proper talk show intros.
They don't get the intro.
Jake, what characteristic do you most closely share with Babe Ruth?
Ooh, I think me and Babe Ruth both really liked a good night on the town.
Oh yeah, a little this, a little this.
Just good times with good people, and whatever else is involved is involved.
Why don't we ever say that, Roy? How is it that we've been in this business for 20 years and we can't think of just good times with good people rather than blurting out every time we've had some sort of alcohol or drug-infused accident? Jake, if you had to choose, would you rather get hit in the back with a bat by Aaron Judge or had a fastball thrown at your head by Garrett Cole?
Oh, okay. Can I dodge the Cole fastball? Do I have a chance?
No,
or is it hitting me in the head?
We are tying you to a stake like a witch. In fact, in both instances, you will be tied to a stake like a witch that gets burned.
I think I'm going Judge. I think that's got less of a chance of just straight killing me. So I'll go there.
All right. Wow. See, I think I'd go fastball. That's
Man,
horrifying.
That's both scary.
Aaron Judge on your back? Oof.
Especially if he's not allowed to use sticky stuff. He might miss himself.
Okay, that was Cole using the sticky stuff. Jake, please say the following tongue twister 5 times fast. Billy Martin, the best baseball boozer, calls for Bunsen beers. I can't even say it reading. Hold on, let me say it again. Billy Martin, the best baseball boozer, called for Bunsen beers.
Billy Martin, the best baseball bunter, called for booze and beers. Did I get it?
I'm going to give it to him.
Fell all around it.
I was impressed. Number 5. Please be honest. Have you ever peed or pooped yourself, accidentally, of course, while in Yankee Stadium, or unaccidentally? Maybe you did intentionally for some strange reason.
At the stadium.
At the stadium itself.
I think I'm good there. I have a quick anecdote. One time we went up to a game in college and we all had to pee right when we got out of the car, and we all peed right outside the car in the parking lot. And then one of our friends waited, and then the cop came over and they hadn't peed yet, and they got a ticket for peeing in public. And we were like, hey, dude, like, he hasn't peed yet. That kid really has to pee. And we kept yelling at our buddy, like, dude, if you pee your pants, you'll get out of this ticket right now. He wanted to do it, but he ended up getting a ticket, and then he still really had to pee.
Yeah. That's horrible. That's the worst. Oh my God. That's the worst thing that's ever happened to almost any human of all time. Yeah. All right. I want you to think about this, and we're going to, after interrogation, discuss a little bit of the K-Rod cast from Sunday night. But I was thinking about it. Paul Simon, the great musician Paul Simon, appeared on the K-Rod cast with Michael Kay and Alex Rodriguez. My question to you, Jake, is if Bernie Williams, say he wanted to be the #1 New York acoustic guitarist, and Bernie Williams said, no one's going to find out about it, no police will ever know, I will give Jake Storielli $150,000 to hit Paul Simon with the guitar. Would you consider this? Again, no legal repercussions. No one would find out about what transpired. Just you and only you. And Bernie, I guess, since he's giving you the money. Paul Simon doesn't even need to know. You could have a ski mask on.
And I've got to really crack him with the guitar.
You have to hit him like Jeff Jarrett in the WWE when he would hit people in the head with his guitar, the country singer. Jeff Jarrett. You would have to, do one of those type moves.
I mean, I think you could. How much I'm thinking about it? I think one swing. I think he'd be fine. I think he'd be okay.
I'd do it for $150.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. He's Paul Simon.
I love Paul Simon, and I mean, at least Jake went through it in a classy manner. Did Roy throw out $150?
Well, you know me. I've had my issues with Paul in the past, so yeah. I'd probably do it for free, to be honest with you.
All right. We'll get into that when in a little bit. Actually, what do you actually have an issue with Paul Simon?
Yeah, I've told you the 3 stories already on the air.
Okay, Roy, you never assume anyone's ever heard anything. Plus, my brain has evaporated due to marijuana usage. So keep going.
Come on, Roy. It's late in the evening. Cut him some slack.
Let's go.
No, I've cut him off. He made me get up out of his seat when I was sitting at CBGB's to watch a band play. Apparently, I was sitting at his table, and he literally showed up, tapped me on the shoulder, said, "Excuse me, you're sitting in my seat." So he actually made me get up and leave. Another time, I was at Radio City Music Hall watching his guitar player play, and I cut him in line at the bar, like totally cut him off, and he got all like bent out of shape and angry about it. I said, "I'm sorry," but anyway.
So you've had this weird rivalry with Paul Simon. That's amazing.
Yeah, I've had all kinds of issues with it. Plenty of issues with the guy.
All right.
For real.
This is shocking.
You could say Paul Simon irritated Roy in 50 different ways.
Okay, he's just doing Paul Simon song titles. This is about Jake's interrogation, people. Jake, I apologize for Roy's behavior tonight.
You're okay.
All right. Jake, why hasn't Paul O'Neill gotten into the water cooler business yet? And can John Boy help out with Paul O'Neill water coolers? Maybe we make them indestructible. You could throw them around the house. I mean, I would say I could have, since I just had the idea, it could have been a Davey Max Sports Program thing. But honestly, Jake, we don't know how to manufacture water coolers. You hear Roy Harder get into fights with, Paul Simon all the time. And Robert, he has his own mental issues. So could we work on this, maybe? The John Boy, Paul Simon, indestructible water cooler?
I love it. I mean, it feels like, the Yankees do those team commercials usually once a spring training. I mean, if it was prime Paulio time, I mean, that's a layup. So you know what? We haven't gotten a lot of Paul time, but I mean, now I've got the perfect intro.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think he's getting his number retired on August 21st? I believe is that this Sunday? So do you think they'll give him some sort of goofy golden water cooler? Will he get that as a gift?
A good gag gift.
I'm calling it. I'm calling him getting a silver. I'm calling him get a silver water cooler from the Yankees.
I think any other team, I think the Yankees might be a little too. They might button the buttons up, and they might not let Paul O'Neill smash a silver water cooler. But
back in the day, they gave 1985. They gave Phil Rizzuto a cow. They brought a cow up, so because of the holy cow phrase. So so they can loosen up every once in a while.
You know what? I like it. People compare O'Neill and Rizzuto and how silly they are in the booth. Why not?
There we go. It's about okay. Who would win in a fight? I got 2 matchups for you. Derek Jeter versus Brad Pitt. Second one, A-Rod versus Jason Momoa. Aquaman, Roy, in case you don't know who Jason Momoa is. So you got Jeter versus Pitt, and then A-Rod versus Aquaman. Who are winning those 2 matchups? In a straight-up fight, we're going to get him in the John Boy Arena and put him in there for 10 minutes and say, go at it, guys.
I mean, any true Yankee fan knows you don't bet against Jeter. I think Brad Pitt probably has, a little more of a slimmed down actor's body. I mean, Jeter's pretty, 6'3", 6'4", and thick still. So I think he's got Pitt easily. I think A-Rod and Momoa, I think that's a problem for Rod. I think Aquaman. I mean, Aquaman. Like he plays a superhero in movies. I'm gonna go with that guy.
Oh wow! All right, so the Yankees are 1-1 in those 2 matchups. All right, Jake, using Jurassic Park technology, what Yankee would you bring back to life to put on this team right now for the rest of the season?
Oh, let's see. They could always use a little pitching. Hey, man, I'll be a Yankee sellout. It would be, well, I guess it would be, can I just do a younger Jeter? Can I do like a
yes,
like a 28-year-old Derek Jeter? Like, yeah,
that's the best answer. I didn't even think of that, but absolutely, we can figure that one out. We can figure out how to get a little Jeter DNA and actually just cut a piece of his hair off. Let's go. Let's clone him and get this thing done right away and grow him up like the clones were growing up in Star Wars. You know,
I assume Roy is the guy on that topic.
Roy.
I'm not well versed in the Jurassic Park technology.
You're right, Roy. We're gonna need you to sneak into Derek Jeter's house and with a little pair of scissors, cut some hair when he's sleeping. Then you're gonna have to take that over to a science lab and get the Jeter clone growing real fast because we have to have him on this team by September 1st if we're gonna realistically win the World Series. Can you do that, Roy?
I'm on it, David.
Even though that entails you trespassing into Derek Jeter's house, you're on that?
You know me and trespassing,
Okay, and
David.
for the record,
that's no thing.
And for the record, John Boy and the Davey Max Sports Program, for that matter, officially do not encourage Roy Harder's behavior. This is all on Roy, Jake.
We will not take credit for this.
Finally! Wow, you've gotten through interrogation unscathed. Most people crack by now. I had one guy just straight up jump out the window a few weeks ago. I was like, what the? No, Jake, don't do it. Oh my God. Look at that gorgeous shot though. You've got like an office like that Charlie Sheen had in Wall Street. I saw a little piece. Woo!
Yes, network, baby.
Woo! Yes, network. Yes. All right. Final question. Since Ted Williams was frozen in 2002, the Yankees have only won one World Series. The question is there a Ted Williams' frozen head curse of the Yankees? And should we thaw out Ted and bake him like a turkey to get rid of that curse?
Ooh.
Maybe even do it on Thanksgiving.
I guess that's what I was gonna say. Ask me in November. If the Yankees don't get it this year, then I'm pretty open.
All right, so let's thaw out Ted Williams' head, and let's make sure we have some nice side dishes though, like some mashed potatoes, some green beans, maybe a little stuffing, because that always goes nice, and some gravy. That always goes well with the Ted Williams frozen head.
I'd put a baseball on the table. It'd be really classy.
Oh, I would love that. Like a baseball in his mouth, like one of those apples with a pig.
It would be beautiful. No, let's just win it this year, and then we don't have to talk about thawing Ted again.
That's right. And that is the answer, and that's why he has just successfully passed interrogation. That was the answer. That was the answer we were looking for. All right. Let me ask you, A-Rod, and did you watch any of the K-Rod cast from last night? Okay.
I did.
So, what did you think of the Jeter stuff? Because I thought that was pretty interesting. A-Rod actually, was pretty vulnerable at one moment. It was like, I really regret, our friendship splintering apart when we were younger. I mean, it took like a minute just to look at the camera and say that. It was kind of crazy. But what did you think? What do you think in general of the K-Rod casts, and what did you think specifically last night with Jeter on the K-Rod cast?
So I love K. He's been crazy nice to us from the start, unreal. Like our first time we went to Yes Network, everyone there was like, "Yeah, Michael K turned us on to you guys a bunch of years ago." And we're like, "What?
Oh wow,
the Michael K." So he's been awesome. I really enjoyed the A-Rod Jeter part last night. I'm a baseball purist to a degree. Oh, just lost one of my headphones. I'm a baseball purist that I want to watch the game. Paul Simon, aka Roy's arch nemesis, the first inning of the game, it's K, A-Rod, and Paul Simon. And again, no offense to Paul Simon, but I'm not super interested in that during the Yankees Red Sox game.
Right.
I'm just not. And then that being said, the A-Rod Jeter stuff, I mean, it was kind of fun during the game, but that could have been a 1-hour special on ESPN or the Yes Network, and I would have watched that a lot more.
That's producing. That's producing, Robert. Robert, why didn't you tell the ESPN 2 to save this for a special?
They didn't listen, Dave.
All right.
They're not as smart as you. They don't listen to my ideas.
They
Only
don't
you
listen
saw
to
the
Robert.
genius.
That's a great idea. That would have been a special. That should have been a special. We could have done this thing on prime time for that matter. Oh, that's a good idea, Jake.
In their defense, I kept saying add Paul O'Neill in, so that's on me.
Okay. So, but how'd you think that Jeter came across?
I thought he was good, man. I thought he was Jeter. Like, Jeter wasn't gonna come on for a half hour, an hour, and he wasn't gonna fake it. Like, he wasn't gonna be like, oh, glad to be here with Rod and Kay. He was like, no, like this kind of isn't my cup of tea, but I'm here. So let's do this.
Yeah, it didn't seem like he is necessarily. I don't know, but it didn't seem like does he have anything with Michael Kay, or is that it's just that's his gimmick? In other words, he plays up to the I'm the aloof guy. Is that his thing?
Yeah, I think he's. I think Jeter just he mentally, when he was done, he was like, I'm kind of gonna tap out of this world a little bit. I don't think he's got any problems with Kay. I just think it's kind of like, I'm a baseball player, you're media, and they're still going through that. And I mean, him and A-Rod, I mean, that's pretty wild, man. Like, those two were the kings of the world, and they were like buddies, and they were the only two guys that kind of related to each other in the world, like these, young, famous, successful kings of baseball. And then A-Rod kind of went one way and Jeter went the other. And it's A-Rod so premeditated that it's just ridiculous that they were talking about how Jeter had the one guy not vote him into the Hall of Fame, and Jeter was like, I don't really care. And then A-Rod was like, well, what about the 80% of people that didn't vote for me? And everyone was just like, let's not do this tonight.
Yeah,
let's just not.
Yeah, right. I know, Alex. But what I thought was interesting is later on in the conversation, he did seem to have a stark realization with the Fernando Tatis Jr. news that Tatis has been suspended for 80 games, shockingly, due to PED. This is the guy on the cover of the MLB The Show. I mean, which is the baseball Madden. I mean, this is a big star here. And A-Rod saying, I'm never going to get in the Hall of Fame because of my mistakes. And now, I'm worried about that Tatis. I thought A-Rod he's a weird guy. There are times, though, where I find A-Rod very likable somehow. But you're right. That little comment of how come the 80% didn't vote for me. What is John Boy, the overall feeling, or at least your personal opinion, Jacob? I'm starting to get sick of the inconsistency with regards to Hall of Fame and records. If we're not going to have Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame, then we shouldn't have 763 or put Bonds in the Hall of Fame. And then we could have 763. I particularly don't care at this point. I really don't. But I'm sick of those two inconsistencies drive me bonkers, because it's like, well, Judge is, he's got a shot at Maris, but not the real record. What real record? The real record by the guy who can't get in the Hall of Fame? What's the real record anymore? Baseball stats used to easily know 714 was Ruth, 755 was Hank Aaron, 660 was Mays. You used to know everyone's stats like that right off the top of your head. But now you can't name how many career home runs Sammy Sosa or Rafael Palmeiro had. And they're like in the 600s. So I don't care. If the records count, fine. Then put him in the Hall of Fame. But then don't do both. Talk to me.
Yeah.
How do we solve the steroid or / PED issue here?
I mean, you're all over it. It's I think baseball, for some reason, they're so scared of the asterisk because a baseball Hall of Fame is supposed to be a Hall of Fame and show off Barry Bonds and Alex Rodriguez, two of the best people to ever play this game, but they did use steroids. So people are smarter than we give people credit for sometimes. Sometimes people are also a lot dumb. So they're a lot more dumb. I can't even say it right. So there's the proof is in the pudding. But baseball use the asterisk to tell the story. Tell people how good Barry Bonds was. Tell people how good A-Rod was. But do tell them they use steroids. So it's a very confusing conversation for a lot of people because they were enhancing their bodies to a degree that other people they were competing with were not. Right. And I think the bigger thing is, especially with Tatis, the health side to steroids and the body recovering and staying healthy. That's probably the biggest thing, man. Like that's because you're right. That was people's arguments forever was like, well, steroids don't help you hit a baseball. If I take steroids today, it's not like I can play center field for the Yankees. No, but if you're one of those high level athletes and your body's getting that and you're healthier and stronger and recovering better than every other player, there's your advantage. So it's a comedy show that they haven't fully addressed it because there are 3 guys that have more than the famous 61 home run number. McGuire, Sosa, Bonds, all 3 steroid guys, all 3 during that era. Yep. So it's like, what are we actually doing here? Why not tell the story of that instead of hiding and having other people have the conversation for you?
I agree. And I've gone full circle. I'm sort of sick of it. And I'm sort of sick of even hearing about, should Clemens go in? Just put them all in. Figure it out. Figure out how to do it. Let someone smarter than me. And maybe it's because I don't know if you're aware, Jake, but I consider myself to be one of New Jersey's greatest all-time residents. I mean, it's always Bruce Springsteen this and Bon Jovi that, but honestly, Davey Mack, I mean, the things that I've done, not to mention the Davey Mack sports program, but I don't know if you're aware. I'm a morning radio guy on WRAT 95.9 FM in the morning. Just got my spring book. Okay. I'm number 1, Jake, at the Jersey Shore. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Let's go.
This is why I'm mentioning this. For 10 years, I've applied to be in the New Jersey Hall of Fame. For 10 years in the New Jersey Hall of Fame. They just came out with the nominations for 2022. I didn't get a sniff of a nomination, Jake, and they put Chelsea Handler over me.
She let somebody pee on her.
That's Robert.
Jake.
That's criminal.
Everything I do for the state of New Jersey.
I've landed at the Newark airport and I see Emeril Lagasse staring at me, and that should be you, man. It drives me nuts.
It's not fair. Let me ask you a question. Did you watch The Captain? And what are the thoughts of The Captain? The Jared Jeter docuseries, of course.
So, dude, I'm kind of behind. I've watched most of the first 4. But again, there's some little things that baseball misses, and most of them relate back to that baseball people really like baseball. So I think 5 of the Jeter episodes have premiered during a Yankees game.
Yeah, God, so you're on it. That's horrible scheduling.
It's kind of like I'm probably just going to keep watching the 7th inning of this Yankee game, then flip over to the Jeter doc that I can watch at any time. It isn't live sports. So yeah, it's for us, that's kind of been one that we've been laughing at lately because, man, if it was not during baseball season, I mean, the Jeter doc would be appointment watching.
Yeah,
for me. But
I do.
I'm juggling. You're watching the games. You got other stuff going on in life that it's been great, the parts I've seen, but I can't keep up with it almost.
I love it. I love the series, but I totally get what you're saying. It doesn't feel like it had sort of it's not resonating, say, and permeating in pop culture the way maybe the Michael Jordan docu-series was when they were releasing that Jordan thing on Sunday nights And
there was no other sports. There was no other sports going on.
That's true. The lockdown helped out with that. All right.
During the lockdown, you guys analyzed non-American sports to the point where I even started to learn the rules of cricket. What was your favorite sport to break down or talk about when there weren't any sports?
Oh man. I mean, it was those were some weird times, man. Those were some weird times.
Yes, they were.
I know this doesn't count because you literally asked for different sports, but we rewatched some old playoff series and just kind of commented over them, kind of like old school Sklar brothers from old school ESPN days.
Of course.
And it was funny watching how much the sport has changed. Like anytime a runner got to first, they were bunting the runner over. Like that was like part of what you did. Like we watched, it was like the final out of a World Series game or something. And a guy just bunts for like no reason. And you're like, what? Like, what are we doing? Maybe our Little League coaches weren't right. So I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of the weirdest thing. I mean, I guess this isn't weird because some people love it. And I still don't dislike it. But UFC was coming back. And that was like Saturday nights. And I was like, all right, I need some sort of sports fix. So I was like kind of into UFC for a little bit, which was just is not part of my life now. And
right.
Just Saturdays for like 3 months. I was a UFC guy.
I was watching those beanbags. ESPN started showing the cornhole. I was watching the cornhole championships left and right. And by the way, the one sport that Roy Harder knows something about is highlight.
Highlight, yes. I am a highlight expert.
You're a highlight expert? If you're a highlight expert, who's the best highlight player of all time?
Oh, the greatest highlight player of all time is definitely Jose Maricuadres from Spain.
Okay.
He's number one. He's like the Michael Jordan of highlight.
All right. And what makes him so good at his sport?
Well, the guy never loses. He's like
never loses.
He's amazing.
All right, say that name again.
Jose Barracancia.
Robert, was that the same name he said the first time?
Of course it was.
I couldn't hear him well enough to know he wasn't.
It changed a little bit. Jake, my point is,
I'm not a native Spanish speaker. All right, maybe I didn't pronounce it exactly like that.
I'm just trying to make sure that you're not making up a totally fictitious person because I put you on the spot. Because there's a part of me that thinks you're just inventing this man for.
Would you
Jake.
really think I would do something like that, David?
Yes. Jake doesn't know you the way Robert and I do.
Yeah.
The term talented Mr. But he's untalented Mr. Ripley is what we call him. He's like a chameleon. He's a con artist. He's a dirty, rotten scoundrel. This guy. He's made thousands of dollars off of people scamming, lying. He's a
rescuing
good man.
Animals. Yeah, this is what I get.
But you know what? You're talking so tough. It's time. It's time for a Yankee trivia contest between Talkin Jake Storiale from John Boy Media, and Roy Harder from the Davey Max Sports Program. And Roy, you can't answer these questions by playing your piano. You have to speak the answer like a proper human on the planet Earth. And the answer must be correct for you to get a point.
Fair enough, David. I'll give it a shot.
Very simple. I got a list of questions right here. Whoever gets the most points wins the game. I don't think there is any more explaining. That's necessary. All right?
Okay.
We're going to go to...
Or you're going to choose people?
I'm going to Jake first. I'm going to alternate. Jake, then you. Jake, who did the Yankees face in their first World Series in 1921?
First World Series in 1921.
Yes.
Well, that
not an easy question. I understand. It's not an easy question. Let's think about this.
Let's see. How about the Athletics? That feels like a team that was around then.
The New York Giants.
Oh, okay.
And they did it at the Polo Grounds, and John McGraw, the New York Giants manager, despised Babe Ruth for the fact that the Yankees were packing in the Polo Grounds at that point more than the New York Giants were. But don't fear, Jake. This next question is going to Roy.
All right.
Roy.
Yes.
What Yankee threw a perfect game in 1998?
Mookie Wilson.
Okay. Mookie Wilson wasn't a pitcher, and this is why I think John Boy was feeling so nice. John Boy Media was feeling so good about us until this segment. This very segment will be the end of our friendly relationship. Our friendly relationship is going down the tubes. Mookie Wilson
I'm glad he had Mookie Wilson in the chamber. That's an all-time baseball name.
He only knows two people: Mookie Wilson and Antonio Freeman.
Freeman McNeil, David. Freeman
McNeil, the Jet wide receiver, because he's met both guys.
Yeah.
Nice guys.
Great guys. Great guys.
That's huge.
He's a sound designer, so he's actually met tons and tons of celebrities, and Sam Rockwell and all these different, celebrities throughout the years. What other sports guys have you met since Talkin Jake is here?
What's that? Tiki Barber. I did a big thing with him.
And didn't you just meet one of like a legendary QB, like a Montana or a?
Don Mattingly. He visited me in the hospital when I was a kid. That's right. Him and Brian Trottier, the hockey player. Remember him?
Hold the phone. You've never told this story before.
Well,
Donald Arthur Mattingly visited you in the hospital.
Yes, he did, David. I have an autograph to prove it. To Roy, best wishes, Don Mattingly.
But I know you have that autograph. You never told me he visited you in the hospital like you were a sick little boy asking, Lou Gehrig to hit him 2 home runs.
Well, full disclosure, David, he didn't specifically come to meet me. He was kind of making the rounds. And, I happened to be in the room, and I was one of the little sick boys that he was visiting.
Wait, we got to do the next question.
Fair enough.
Jake, I apologize for Roy Harder's behavior this evening.
You're good.
What year was the World Series? Okay, hold on. What year was the World Series in which it is claimed that Babe Ruth called his shot?
The Babe Ruth called shot.
It was done in the World Series. I'll even tell you, it was done against the Chicago Cubs.
Okay.
So we're looking for the year. Not easy.
Let's see. Babe Ruth called shot. Give me 32.
Boom!
Impressive.
Jake is on the board. That was not easy. I don't know who made these questions, but they seem to be alternating a lot harder in Jake's thing. But actually, Roy's never going to get this next one in a million years. Not in a million years. And I will give Jake actually a chance to steal it for a point. Roy, please add the following uniform numbers and give me a player. Okay? Reggie Jackson plus Derek Jeter equals who? Do you understand what I'm saying? So
so each player has a number. You want me to add up the 2 numbers?
And then give me the when you get the number, what player does that equal? I mean, you could just say pass it to Jake if you want.
I know Derek Jeter is 2. That I know for a fact. Reggie Jackson.
I'm surprised he got that.
How about this, Roy? Reggie Jackson, same number twice.
Trying to help you. He's trying to help you.
Same number twice. 22?
No. I'm not even letting him guess anymore. Jake,
44?
Would you? No. Okay, but 44 plus 2 is 46.
46.
And what Yankee was 46? Just got it.
I give up. I'm going to pass this one over to you, Jake.
I'm saying, Roy, he just got it retired. He's a southpaw pitcher. It was just retired, Roy.
Southpaw pitcher.
A lefty.
All right, let's see. Let's see if we can workshop this. It's the name of the kid from Toy Story.
Andy.
Yep.
Andy Pettit. Andy Pettit.
Wow. Oh my God, Roy, you owe Jake a steak after his help. You owe Jake a steak. Yes.
Oh, a stinger.
A steak.
Is that what you want to?
Next one.
All right. Who's this one to?
This is to Jake. Jake, it's a similar thing. Take Mariano Rivera's jersey number. This is harder, though. reverse it.
Don't worry, I'll help you out.
Thank you.
And give me one Yankee who wore it.
Oh, I mean, the first one that's always going to come up for me is Tino Martinez.
Boom.
But I mean, Gary Sanchez in recent years, we got 20. Now it's Matt Carpenter, right?
Matt Carpenter's wearing 24. And back in the day when I was a kid, Ricky Henderson even wore 24. But we were looking for, and I was thinking, actually, I too think of Tino. Tino's sort of the first 24 that comes into mind. Jake is now officially destroying Roy. We got to zap through these things.
Thank God.
Real
Jake.
quick. Roy, you have to get this question in order to tie Jake. If you don't, Robert and I and Jake are going to plan your demise.
Fair enough.
And we don't know if this is going to, you could be kidnapped by some shadowy figures in the middle of the night and then you're never seen from again. We apologize, but we take our sports and our Yankees seriously. So here it is. What Yankee did Kramer say invented New York's Central Park on Seinfeld?
Yankee did Kramer from Seinfeld. Shit. Is it Hernandez? I don't know.
Joe Pepitone. Jake Storiali's the winner. Talkin Jake. Jake Storiali is the winner of the Yankee Trivia Contest. We're going to send you a bar of soap, Jake. That's what all winners get in their trivia contest. So unbelievable. Listen, we loved having you on the show tonight. I mean, we're like we said, John Boy Media is it's doing amazing work, fantastic content, so much of it. It's all high caliber, A-class, top shelf. You and Jimmy, aka John Boy, are doing an amazing job. Your whole team is doing unbelievable work. Love watching you guys on Yes. Love your tweets and everything that you guys do and your videos that you put out on the social media. So make sure you're following all things John Boy and making you're following Jake Storiali at Talkin Jake on Twitter. Jake, my man, thank you so much for doing this tonight.
Hey, Davey, Roy, Robert, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Go Yanks. Roy, I can't believe I haven't been in a heads-up Yankees trivia match like that in a while.
That is so awesome. Well, listen, we're going to get out of here. We're going to let you go. Again, big time pleasure. Jake, it's Talkin Jake from John Boy Media. Roy, thank you so much. You humiliated me, but I feel like Jake is putting up well with your antics. So I appreciate that. And Robert, brilliant job as always. Hey, I'm Davey Mack. It's the Davey Mack Sports Program. Thank you, Jake Storiali. Good night,